Hey, boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of Think Different Television. Okay, this is what we're going to do. So, we have all these problems right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 ACT level problems. You may be thinking, Mr. Irish, why are we doing proportional rates and reasoning and unit rates? That's so easy. We know this. We learned this so long ago. Well, now it gets a little tricky once they put it in the ACT because they know that you know it already, so they're going to put it in a different context. Can you translate your thinking to that context and get it right using critical thinking skills, using the information provided, using the skills you know? Well, let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You got Tyler, you got Jordan, you got Mary, and you got some variables right there. So pause the video. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are also attached. So there's 4 questions. You should just do it in 4 minutes. In the test, you get 1 minute per question. So you got to be fast. So try as much as you can do. 4 minutes, 5 minutes. That's it. Time yourself. Pause the video. Go. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Okay, follow along as I read. Tyler took a road trip on his motorcycle. When he left, the odometer. Odometer is the thing on the car that tells you how many miles you've driven in the history of the car once the car was made. So it read 22,687 miles, and when he returned, it read 23,002 miles. So it started here, ended here. So if I subtract those, it's going to tell me the total miles that Tyler went. In total, Tyler rode for 5 hours. That's hard to read, but that says 5. Based on the odometer readings, what was his average speed in miles per hour? Okay. So first things first. Let's go to our notebook. So the odometer read that when he stopped. And then this is when it started. So I need to subtract these. So calculator, 23,002 minus 22,687. So he went 315 miles for his trip. Okay. So 315 miles in 5 hours. So it wants to know what's that in miles per hour, per 1 hour. That's a unit rate. So I can cross multiply and divide, or I can just divide these right here. So 315 divided by 5 is 63 miles per hour. There we go. So the answer is D. Number 1 is D. Okay. Number 2, Jordan went for a 3.5 mile jog, 3.5 mile jog on Monday and took him 40 minutes. If on Tuesday Jordan jogs at the same rate of speed, how far will he jog in 60 minutes? Okay, so let's get to our notebook. So it's 3.5 miles he went in 40 minutes. He went at the same rate for 60 minutes. Now I can find the unit rate here if I want to, but I can just keep it like this because this is a good proportion because I have minutes and minutes and miles and miles. So it's cross multiply and divide. So 40x equals 60 times 3.5 to 10 divided by 40. So x is 5.25 miles. So if he went the same rate, he'd go 5.25 miles. So that would be what we get C for the second one. All right, next one. Excuse me, not as easy. This one's tough. Let's see if you got this. Mary, following as I read, has to drive to her grandmother's house and be back by 4. So there and back. You got to read it carefully. So it's there and back. It is now 3 o'clock, so she has an hour. That's what I'm thinking. And she needs to spend 15 minutes with her grandma. So that means 45 minutes she's going to be driving. So 15 minutes she's going to stay at her grandma's, so 45 minutes of total driving time. That's what I'm thinking. How far away is her grandma's house if she can run this errand driving an average speed of 32 miles an hour? Woo! Okay. So what I'm going to figure out first, let's go to our notes, is that Mary drives 31 miles per hour. That's 31 miles in 1 hour. Now, how long is she driving? Well, she is from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock and 15 minutes to stay. So that means that there's a total driving time of 45 minutes. So how many miles can she get done in those 45 minutes so she can get there and back? So that means I'm going to take whatever this is and divide by 2 because she's going to make a there and back trip in 45 total minutes. So, whoo, this doesn't work out. I got to check miles and miles, hours, and ooh, there we go. Oh, now we good. 60x, 45 times 32 is 1,440 divided by 60. It's 24. So you're probably thinking that, yeah, I got it right. Answer is C, but the answer is not C. The answer is A. Why is the answer A? Yeah, the answer is A because you need to divide by 2. The 45 minutes is driving there and back. So her grandma's is 12 miles away. That's the question, right? It's not 24 miles away. That's a total driving. That's what I mean. So how far away is her grandma's house? Make sure you're answering the question because C is an easy trap to fall in. Last one. See, I told you these are not as easy as you think. If a car travels D miles, so it doesn't even give you how many miles, in 2 hours, what is the average speed of the car in miles per hour? Ooh, that's tough. Okay. So there's a bunch of ways to do this. Let me show you a few. Here you go. See if you got it right. So I always start with the proportion. So D miles in 2 hours. So how many miles per 1 hour? Now this looks kind of weird because you have 2 variables going on here. But what are you actually solving for? You're solving for x, aren't you? So you want this. So I'm going to do the same-ish. I'm solving for x. So cross multiply. So I have 2x equals 1 times d. 1 times anything is itself. And remember, I'm solving for x because this is generally what I would solve for. If this were a number, like if they traveled like 40 miles in 2 hours, if that were a number, then I could do the problem really easily. So I'm going to divide by 2, d divided by 2. Got it. And that makes sense because, look, you're dividing the hours by 2. Half of 2 is 1, and so half of d is d divided by 2 is half of d. Got it. X. Cool. Those were 4 problems. How many did you get right? Good work, everybody. Let's keep cruising to the exit quiz.